Yes, Björn Andersson.
Indeed.
Yes, we worked together for quite some time.
We have.
I don't know how many years it is now.
It's got to be at least 10, if not more.
Yeah. And you are not working for Crunchfish, but you've been working. You've been working for Crunchfish, but you're not working at Crunchfish.
That's right. I'm a patent attorney and doing all your patents basically.
Yes. And what company do you represent?
Yes, I'm with a firm called Ström Gulliksson.
Yep.
It's a Swedish firm targeting Europe as a whole, providing services in intellectual property, mostly patents, to European and also non-European clients.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Swedish market is a key market to us because we are Swedes. So, and Crunchfish is a Swedish innovative company. So yes, I've had the pleasure of servicing Crunchfish since 2010, I believe.
I think our first patent was 2012.
2012.
Yes. 2010, the company was founded.
Right.
And it was actually one of the first thing I required when I came in as an investor. I said, if I'm going to invest here, and I think I called either you or Rickard Roos.
You did, yes.
I said that you need to look at this company to see if they have technology which is patentable.
Exactly, we had to look. Yes, I did. Yes,
and
absolutely.
I know you answered. They have some interesting ideas, and
yes.
we believe so. And I think we filed. We filed in. I think this was in August 2012. Three patents immediately.
Yes, we did.
Yes, and they are now all become patents.
Yes, we have. Yes.
Yeah. So
quite
but
successful.
That's where it started. But I know sort of. I didn't work exactly with you, but your managing partner, Rickard. I go way back with him with my previous company as well.
You do, yes. Rickard Roos, our president. Yes.
And this is where I learned actually that there is a difference between. Patent bureaus and patent bureaus. We were in some sort of patent lawsuit, and I really felt so sorry for our opponent because their representation wasn't. I didn't think that was up to standard. So I was really happy to have a Ström Gulliksson as on my side.
Right, I'm glad to hear.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe you're right. I mean, it's like basically any other service provider. You when you want to hire a service provider, you look for a dedication and passion, don't you? I mean, that's what really makes a difference, and that's what we try to do with our firm.
Yeah.
Rickard and me and my other partners at the firm.
Yeah. I think a whole lot of specific knowledge, because I think from many, if you're like we are a tech company. This is quite a difficult area to, we couldn't file our own, technically we could file our own patents.
You could?
But I wouldn't recommend it. And it's hard then to find and know what consultancy company to turn to. But I think, I think for us now, I think we're soon up. I know you're working on 2 more patents at the moment. So we're soon up to, innovation number, I think 52 or something.
52 is the most recent one, correct?
The recent number, and of these, I think we have. I've counted. I think it's 26 which are now granted patents.
Yes,
and a company like Crunchfish, how would you? We are sort of like 20 people. Is that a lot of IP?
Oh yes, I mean I've been doing patents since 1994, so it's 26 years now, and. I'm totally honest when I say that you guys are by far the most innovative Swedish client that I have had, most productive, producing most pieces of intellectual property, most granted patents. So yes, you are. You're not a big company if we count the number of heads, but you certainly produce a whole lot of innovation.
Are we overspending on patents? Because we are spending quite a lot on it.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I think the strategy that you have adopted is quite wise. You select key markets upon which you obtain patent rights. You don't go for necessarily all countries around the world for all innovations. That is simply not possible. So you focus on creating many patent rights on key markets. And I think that's a very clever way of doing it. So no, I wouldn't say that you're overspending. You're spending your investments wisely, I would say.
And having a patent right, how do you value a patent right? How does that how does it work? How are you advising your clients that they should continue investing in in your services and investing in their IP and their IP rights?
Yes, well, it's all a matter of what the client needs and wants to achieve. So obviously that can vary a lot between clients and clients, depending on what they do and what markets they are into, etc. What technologies. But it's a matter of at the end of the day, it's a matter of the investments that the clients make into patents should make them earn more money than they invest, so to speak.
Sure.
At the end of the day, that's the whole purpose of this. Otherwise, there's no role for us as a service provider.
Yeah.
So that is that's the key thought. That's where every strategic advice begins, I would say, and then it'll be a matter of is it very important to the client to avoid copycats? I mean, imagine that you're actually producing and selling a physical product that can easily be copied. Then obviously the copy protection that can prevent the copycats from stealing your inventions in a sense. In other situations, it's more a matter of getting assets that you can license. Sort of capturing your technology or innovations into intellectual property that you can actually license out and allow other actors to make your inventions happen while you get a stream of the revenues, a fair share, so to speak. So it's a matter of what you do and where you are as a company. If you're a young company, a startup, or a mature company.
Yeah,
so it varies a lot.
I look upon it a little bit. One thing is like a defensive thing that because we have the right, we have the patent right. No one else could claim that we can't do what we do. That's in a way an investment into having that you. This is our know-how, and we have it actually even as a patented right. I think that is a defensive right that no one else could claim that this is theirs because we have that right.
You have that right, and it's in your hands to control what everyone else can or cannot do with that piece of intellectual property. That's correct. That's sort of a basic idea of a patent system.
Yeah. The other for me, the other value is that I believe that, and that's what happened in the previous company where you work with us, that you can be acquired, and I think at that point, the IP that you have in terms of patentable rights is probably the most important asset during an acquisition.
Yes.
Because even I don't believe we will necessarily run after companies and sue them for infringement, but I think everybody knows that if we are acquired from some of the big companies, then that could happen because they would have the muscles to sue anyone, and for that reason they would respect even our rights, because all of a sudden that might end up with if we are acquired with someone bigger, and then that gives us some protection that people won't mess with us with our IP.
Indeed, it does, and to the investors, it gives a kind of they assure the investors that all the brilliant things that you invent here, all the things that come out of your brilliant people's minds, are not just mental ideas. They're actually captured by intellectual properties that you can actually put a figure on and a number on. So it's sort of captured. So it's in the possession of a company. So from an investor's point of view, you would very much want to see that the most important innovative spirits have been captured.
Sure. Yeah.
Rather than just floating around in people's mind.
Yeah, and I also know that some of these big tech companies that I said sort of could come as a big brother for us and, scare other people off not to mess with us, because one day they might buy us and then the big brother might go after. But it's also a protection against the big brothers, because the way I feel is that I think the way they look upon themselves, they can do anything. Whatever we have done, they can do it. They can put 200 people on whatever they want because they have that money, and they can surpass us. But if we sit with a little bit of a patent right, they may not decide to do that if they believe that patent right is defendable.
Right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So this is a little bit, I think, why I believe that as an in the space we're in, which is a extremely hot area. You know, right now we're sort of targeting most of our innovations right now into mobile payments, which is sort of you know,
it's huge.
It's huge, yeah. and people are running fast in that area. And let's because one thing we did for the first time, we normally only expose our ideas to the world after we have been granted a patent, or at least we got this notice of allowance. That means that there are still some practical things that needs to happen, but we will get our patent.
Yeah,
that's the notice of allowance.
It is.
But we changed that strategy when we came with our offline innovation. That was, I know you and I, we worked late. This was on January 29th. I think you filed 20 past 11.
I think it was, yes.
20 past 11 in the evening.
In my office.
And Paul had this great idea. Let's do something special. So we decided to go with a press release 1 minute after midnight.
Yes, you did.
On the next day. So we did. Because we thought that this was a very special innovation. And the reason for actually exposing it was that we didn't want to slow us down with NDAs and so on, and I felt that if I've told the market what we have this patent, or at least we have some priority from the filing date.
Yes, you do.
Yes, and I felt that then we can openly talk about it, and I didn't want to risk that the market heard about this, through some other channels.
Right. You want to be in control of the information. Yes.
Yeah, and as a public company, I think I just felt that we changed the strategy a little bit. That we actually went public with the ideas, because normally you can keep your innovation actually secret to the world for 18 months. Isn't it?
Yes, that's the traditional role of a patent system, basically. That you
keep it secret for 18 months.
The patent office keeps your patent application private for up to 18 months. Yeah, unless it's granted in the meantime.
Then when it's granted, you need to.
When it's granted, it's granted. Yes.
Yeah.
But you can actually delay the grant.
What did you think of? Because I don't know if I even talked to you about that. We will release it after 42 minutes after we filed it.
Well, I think I got to know about that at around 21 or 22 in that very same evening, where we were both writing our final lines, me on the patent application and you on the press release. So I did know about it a little bit in advance, and I just thought it was really cool. I mean, imagine the lead time between, it's 41 minutes between a patent application being filed and you go public with this great idea.
Yeah.
But offline is.
Yeah, and this one we might go wider with. I think typically we file first in Sweden, we wait 12 months, and then we do what is called a PCT application, an international application.
Correct.
Grants us another 18 months before we have to nationalize.
Yes.
And then we typically do US, China, Europe. This one, definitely India.
Definitely, yes.
We'll do India.
Definitely.
And a few other countries as well. Could you help other people understand a little bit how much is the cost for filing for a patent and doing the international application and then doing each country? Just so you get an idea of how much this is. What I sort of know roughly what I have to spend.
Right.
But,
so I would say I normally tell the new clients, just to give them a rough figure, that if you want us to prepare and file a patent application in Sweden, for instance, the first cost will be about 5,000 to 8,000 euros or something like that.
Yeah, so
maybe 10,000 euros.
50 to 100,000 krona.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. If depending on the complexity of the invention, then comes the PCT application, the international patent application, that sort of allows you to keep all national doors open for another 1.5 years, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
That costs about the same. The same, like 5,000 to 6,000 euros, something like that.
Yeah.
And then comes the national filing costs, and
that's 2.5 years later after the initial
so
filing.
It's a rather long time, giving you the opportunity to sort of have the invention matured and
decide if you want to pursue
exactly,
it.
And hopefully commercialized, etc.
Yeah.
And at least you have your market ideas cleared out in the meantime. So then the filing costs per country, I would say about 5,000 euros per country.
Yeah.
So it's the same rough number.
Again.
Yeah.
But it depends a little bit if you have to translate it.
Exactly.
It will be cheaper for...
Filing in India will be cheaper because we can use English in India. We always, as a service to our clients, we always draft the patent applications. We write them in English already from the start. Even though you have decided to start filing in Sweden, we don't write it in Swedish because we can just as well use English. That's allowed by Swedish patent law.
Okay, yeah. So even the claims? Or
even the claims, and only once your patent application has received the notice of allowance that you mentioned, the sort of the message from the patent office that we are now done with checking your patent application, we're happy with it, you have really an invention here, so you deserve a patent. When they give you that announcement in a notice of allowance, as a kind of a last step, you will have to translate only the claims, a part of a patent application, into Swedish. Yeah. It's a rather minor cost.
Yeah. And when they say they have checked our application, they've checked it worldwide, even if it's just a Swedish...
So
they check against all the databases that they can possibly find.
Exactly. In order to get a patent on an invention, that invention must be new or novel, as we say in patent law. And it must also have sort of a touch of inventive step. Yeah,
so it has to be innovative to a certain...
Exactly,
it can't be just a
little brightness by the inventors.
A little spark of innovation.
Or a big one.
Or a big one,
so that's what the patent office do when you have filed a patent application with them. They start searching in patent databases and other databases that they have. In the old days, they used to pull actual paper files of documents, old documents, and comparing to your invention. But obviously, they don't do that anymore. So they do their searches and to decide whether or not is this invention actually new. I mean,
it has to be new,
or is it known from somewhere else before? And if it is new, how different is it compared to the known technology, to the prior art, as we call it? And if that difference between the invention and the known technology is big enough, is bigger than trivial, there is something to it, then you should have a patent, and that is what the patent office then announces to you once they have completed the search and examination efforts.
And if you get it in Sweden, you can have some confidence that you will also get it in other countries as well. But all countries they are proud enough to check for their own rights.
They are independent. As such, so they make their own decisions and their own examinations. But sure enough, they are inspired by each other. They have a look at what other patent offices have already concluded. And obviously, if you have a granted Swedish patent and possibly a granted US patent, for instance, then your European patent application is in a better shape, so to speak, because there are strong indications that you really have an invention.
And the reverse is true as well.
Have a patent.
If you have got if you got a sort of decline from one market, I guess in the US, I know you have to tell them that.
Yes, we do.
That you by law you have to tell them that we didn't get it granted in Sweden, and the reasons why is here. So now you make
correct.
Your
correct. So
decision.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, it goes both ways. Yeah. So you've been writing. We kept you. I know you're not, because you're the chairman of Ström Gulliksson, isn't you?
Well, I'm the chairman
of the holding company.
Of a holding company and a member of the board and the management group of Ström Gulliksson.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. So, and you still have time for us.
I do. You're my favorite client. I'm not joking. You really are, because it's actually a pleasure to be able to work with guys like you. I mean, you're doing great technology. You're a small and tight team. You're very ingenious, but yet very nice to work with. And you're like 500 meters away, so we can actually meet live in real life as well.
I see some soccer sometimes.
And we can, yes.
We had some great Malmö games, I think.
Yes.
We were sad against this VAR goal against Wolfsburg.
Oh yes.
Well, what happened there?
Yeah, I don't know. The video assisted referee. Yeah, we're not used to that in Sweden, obviously. So it was.
And not the referees either. They were from Scotland. They'd never done it before.
No one at that arena, the Malmö Stadium, was prepared for that decision. When that goal was first. Waved off and then awarded after a video examination. Yeah. Quite a disappointment, I got to tell you.
our big innovation here, because we sort of claimed, and we had champagne and we had everything, that this was the big one for us. We've done a lot of good innovations in the past, but we felt that offline was a huge step forward. Being able to pay offline, meaning that no one has access to the payment service in the cloud, really. We thought that was... this could change. Basically, that's what we thought, how digital payments are actually made. Because there's always a check. Is there enough balance? And there's always a check online to see if there is an account somewhere, even if you pay by card, or if this is a real-time payment like Swish, there's always a check online.
Yes.
But we took that away.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. and we thought, this is something, because that could actually change the whole architecture of how you design digital payment systems.
It's a new way of thinking. It is.
Yeah.
And I think I was as surprised as any other one when you told me, when we had that first meeting and you presented this idea. And I thought the first seconds I went like, yeah, but you have to check in the cloud. But no, you don't. And when sort of the invention matured, and we decided how to protect it.
Yeah. No, it's been a fun, the first, after we filed on that, I think this was, Thursday. It was a Thursday, I think. We had champagne on Friday, and then on Saturday we flew to India.
Yeah, you did. Right.
And the first meeting we had, very first meeting, we met with NPCI, which is the National Payment Corporation of India. This is the banking consortium of all banks, and they are the ones driving or coordinating basically real-time payments in entire India. And we met the head of UPI, and it took him some time to understand what we had, which we thought was, I shouldn't say fun, but we thought it was great.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't see it coming,
exactly,
the chances are that other people wouldn't have thought of this idea either.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm actually, I know so many of our previous innovations have actually turned into patents. This one, as I've talked now to people very early, as we went to India, just on the Monday after, I feel I have a sort of high confidence that this particular one, because it's sort of novel, will actually also be granted. That's you never know. You never know,
but it's very exciting. Well,
yes.
Obviously, it is. Yes.
Yeah. And so far, and also we met with we were able to go up and meet with the Swedish National Bank, Svenska Riksbanken, who are they are looking into their e-currency, e-kronan, and what they really, I know when they started a project, they were talking about when cash is disappearing, that means our society becomes vulnerable, very vulnerable, and I think we have solved that with our digital cash, which I think it's actually quite exciting.
It is. It's very exciting.
Yeah, because this could be a remedy for a market like Sweden, where cash is disappearing, but they still understand that we have to provide a safe way of payment, even in a crisis situation. But also in India, where they have cash is king there. 85% of all transaction is done by cash. But there they are looking for this, as they sort of have an IT infrastructure which is perhaps not up to scratch. So this is where they need the offline payments. And the discussions we've had in India with the payment providers has, this is huge, is basically what they're telling us, which is exciting.
It is.
Which is exciting.
Interesting times. Indeed.
Interesting times. Yeah. And this one we haven't filed this one yet. This one is only filed as a provisional application.
Yeah,
but because we have been busy with other.
Yes. Well, but the basic framework is in place.
Yes.
It has a
so we have
date.
Filed.
It was 41 minutes before you released it. So
what does it mean that you have filed in a provisional way?
Actually, it's not. It's just basically a matter of you want to obtain an early filing date so that you can talk about your invention without having to fear that you cause some problems to yourself by disclosing the invention.
So you do a provisional.
It has to do with the novelty requirement. you should only talk about an invention that has been, but for which there is a patent application filed.
Yes.
And sometimes you're clear about the basic framework of an invention, but you're not really clear about each and every detail and add-on features, potential, etc. And rather than waiting to have all those sorted out, you may want to file an early application, and that is what you do sometimes. And this was one of those occasions.
Yeah. And I know, we filed this other idea that we can pay without an app. This was the sort of web Bluetooth thing. I know you worked on that, and then we said, and we have two other ideas that you need to work on first.
And I am, yes.
I know. And then we will have to go back to the offline one to file it properly.
Exactly, and get all those nice add-ons features in place as well. Which you haven't talked about yet. They are still within.
I know.
Within these secret walls.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
No, Björn, I think I'm very glad that I know Ström Gulliksson was great already after my previous company working with you, and I think the success I was witnessing in that company when we did an exit, the patents were key. So that was one of the reasons why I know when I started here in Crunchfish that this company needs to have some patent rights. Otherwise, I'm not into this company. So I'm lucky that you answered yes. This was gesture ideas back in those days that we filed. But since then, these were our 3 first ones. But since then, as you said, we are up to 52 now.
52.
Not all. We have. I know we have cancelled a few of them.
A few of them, but the vast majority of them have actually been very successful. So
I think the active ones in terms of unique innovations, there are 12 on the gesture side, and I think if we include the 2 you're working with right now, I think there is 22 or 23 on the. So that means almost 35. Which are active.
Yes.
Innovations that we're pursuing rights for.
You tend to know the exact numbers even better than me, but so I'm sure you're right. But I have the same feeling. And the pleasure is thank you very much for the kind words, and it really goes both ways, because I know I talk not only for myself but also for my friends at Ström Gulliksson. That we very much enjoy working with you guys at Crunchfish.
And we're very happy.
Pleasure.
So that definitely goes both ways.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Björn. Thanks.